Once again, it's time for the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brandon Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Let's go ahead and get right into the show. What's up, everybody, man? It's your boy again, Coach Silky, back at it in the studio, getting into our regular schedule with my boy, Thighside. What's up, man?
Not much. We got a lot of stuff to go over today.
We have had some busy last couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we've been doing a lot of stuff and a lot of specials and doing a lot of things to try to grow the show. But the thing that ended up taking a hit was the show. And we ended up with more stories than we knew what to do with. We had 60 stories.
Yeah.
There were 60 stories, which we would have had to do one a minute to get all 60 of these into this one episode.
So we sifted things around.
Yes. We're going to hit you with some of the new and some of the old. Some of it you may have heard about. Some of it I know you haven't heard on any other podcast. This is the beauty of our show, is that we really are starting to try to get away from a lot of the stuff that you're going to get from IGN. You're going to get it from Game Informer. We are going to cross over some of that with them. But we're pulling information from a lot of different sources and sharing it with you guys here. And we thank you for joining us every week to do this. I got to get us started with comic books, man.
Okay.
There's some craziness going on. I hit you with this story just the other day. I'm really geeked about this. Gerard Way. I don't know. Did you ever listen to the band My Chemical Romance?
No.
I'm not a big My Chemical Romance fan. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Not a big fan of their music. I knew a couple of their songs. You know, they weren't my style of music. But I know they have a huge following of fans. Mm-hmm. The thing that impressed me was their lead singer, Gerard Way, is a comic book writer and has written some pretty critically acclaimed comic books. Okay, like he wrote this one, The Umbrella Academy, was a Dark Horse comic. It was a little bit like a dysfunctional superhero family. It's kind of set in 1977 in an alternate timeline where Kennedy wasn't assassinated. It's different. It's weird. But it was an interesting read, and people got into it. Mm-hmm. He has now been tapped to be the curator for DC Comics' new mature imprint. So, shocking. Like in DC, let's face it, Vertigo has always been the home of their more mature titles. Mm-hmm. Young Animal is the name of this new imprint. It is going to be, Gerard Way is going to be writing several comics for them, and it's going to be a line of comic books I think that we can call more, how do I say this, more experimental, a little heavy on the sci-fi and experimental.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be different. It's I'm kind of shocked to see this. You know, they're coming with another mature line of comic books, but it's only going to start with these 4 series. But one of the series that Gerard is writing is a classic DC series. He is bringing back a Doom Patrol monthly, and for a lot of comic book fans, when you find out that Doom Patrol, a series formerly that Grant Morrison freaking reinvented this team in.
Those are some fucking huge shoes to fill.
You're following Grant Morrison's what we call a legendary run on the series.
Yeah.
There's not a person that did not read Morrison's run of Doom Patrol that does not call it one of the legendary runs. What he did with Doom Patrol is similar to what Frank Miller did with Batman. Yeah. This is a huge, huge, huge thing. And Gerard Way's coming in here, and he's going to be taking over that series and being the monthly writer. He's going to be working with an artist named Nick Darrington. They're going to be putting their unique stamp on the world's strangest heroes, taking on the universe's strangest villains. I'm not quite sure. Now, I know I looked at it, and I've seen some stuff. I'm looking for some things. I'm trying to find out more about it. I want to see where they're going to go with it. But my Doom Patrol was always the old, Antimatter Girl, Cliff the Robot, some stuff like that, Mm-hmm. Plus Gar, the kid that ended up being in the Teen Titans, he was, Beast Boy. He was also part of the Doom Patrol at one time. That played very prominent in his time with the Teen Titans. I'm not quite sure where this new series is going to go. From what I'm seeing from artwork, it's a new team, new people. I'm really interested to see where this goes. I'm really interested. I am going to collect it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to collect it, but I want to see where it goes. He's also bringing in another comic. I think he's got Shade. There was an old DC comic called Shade, the Changing Man. Now it's going to be called Shade, the Changing Girl, and it's an alien takes over the body of a 16-year-old bully and must face the challenges of being a stranger in a foreign land plus the consequences of the life she didn't live. So I mean, it's going to explore themes of madness, alienation, and the bizarre, and this new sci-fi thriller. I think that the Star Wars moving target writer, Cecil Castellucci, he is the writer for this new series. Shade the Changing Man with some trippy shit from DC. Okay? The fact that we're getting a whole new rewrite and it's coming into this thing, I'm shocked. So then I'm thinking, okay, well, that's 2 series. Now, I'm shocked already that he's got 2 series, in this new imprint, and he's writing one. Gerard Way's not done. He's writing the other 2 comic books in this. So he's writing 3 monthly comic books a month now at this new imprint.
It's going to be very busy.
He's very busy. I would not be expecting a My Chemical Romance reunion tour anytime soon, because he's doing Cave Carson Has a Cybernetic Eye. He's co-writing this one with John Rivera, and he's also doing this one called Mother Panic. The reason I'm talking about Mother Panic is about a lady named Violet Page, a celebrity heiress by day and brutal vigilante by night, as she takes on the underbelly of Gotham City's high society. Does that not sound like Batman to you?
Yeah, I mean, that's at least in Batman's territory. There's going to be some crossover there, hopefully.
That's what okay, she's in Gotham City, so that opens us up to see anybody in the Batman family.
Yeah.
She's a celebrity heiress, so she's rich.
Yeah. Or expansion of like the villains that are in.
Yeah, can we
Gotham.
see? I mean, because we're going to have her villains plus the rogues, Batman's rogues. They're in Gotham, so I'm sure we're going to see some crossover somewhere here.
Maybe they might bring Fish Mooney in. Because, I mean, Fish Mooney was created specifically for the Gotham television show, and DC has a history of creating a character on a television show and then bringing it into a comic at some point. And I think Fish Mooney would be a good rogue for her because, she's in Gotham. It would be a female versus a female.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I'm kind of hyped about that one. That was not hitting the shelves to November, but when I found out he was writing that and that it's in Gotham, I got a little excited about it because I was just like, Rich Harris by day, brutal vigilante by night, might be something we need to look into. Definitely going to be looking into that one. Also, as if that's not enough, DC keeps it going.
Greg Berlanti fucking keeps it going.
Yeah, let's just say that.
Seriously.
Greg Berlanti keeps it going. So, Black Lightning, well known if you've watched the Super Friends during the 80s or any of those cartoons. Even in, I think, 77, 76 is when he hit comic books. Stood out because there weren't that many black superheroes anyway, and there surely weren't that many black superheroes at DC at the time, and he has always kind of been there, on the fringes. He was even in the Batman and the Outsiders series during the 80s. So it's kind of neat to see that they're bringing him back.
Yeah.
So let me see if we got this right. They're talking about a new comic book series and a TV show.
Yeah. I mean, it almost seems like this is kind of, and I hate to say this, but it's kind of a reaction to Marvel doing Luke Cage. It's like
you know what?
They're not the same character.
It's not, but it does feel like, oh my God, Marvel's got a black guy on TV. We need a black guy on TV.
Exactly.
It does feel like that. And I mean, and we're not saying that's what they did.
But it's just, the timing is a little...
And it's rushed because, I mean, like, we've known about Luke Cage for a while.
Yeah.
And we knew about DC shows, but now all of a sudden DC's like, we didn't tell anybody, but we're bringing Black Lightning. We're going to reboot the TV show. Reboot the comic book, and we're going to make a TV show.
So I think it's going to be good. I mean, it's coming from Berlanti. It's going to be another CW show, which means that there's going to be crossover between all of them.
And he says he's been working on this for a year.
Yeah, I mean, if he's been working on it for a year, I would have hoped that they would have shown something at Comic-Con this year, but maybe they're going to save it for next year.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not, well, unless it's a mid-season replacement for something, but that's still kind of weird.
I don't think
here's my thing. You've been working on this show for a year, and nobody squealed, nobody talked, nobody said anything.
They run a pretty tight ship over there.
Man, Berlanti is... I know earlier you and I were talking about this, and one of the things you were like, what night are they going to put it on? Because we already have Flash. Is Flash Tuesday nights?
Yeah.
And then is Monday night Supergirl?
Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and then Legends
So Arrow's
tomorrow.
Wednesday nights, and then Legends is Thursday.
See, and that's the thing is like on Fox, this different channel, obviously from the CW, but on Fox, Friday night at 7 p.m. is the death spot. If they hate a show, they will put it on at that time because they know that the ratings are going to tank because nobody's home on Fridays to watch television shows.
Here's what I wonder. When did that change? Because TGI Fridays, the ABC Friday lineup, we stayed home on Friday nights to watch that lineup.
Yeah, nobody does that shit anymore.
Kids these
Now,
days are jaded.
I think if they counted, like, I guess DVR views as a part of the ratings, then the viewership might be a little higher because, you know, people would go out on Friday, set the DVR, watch it the next day, watch it a couple days later or whatever. But I don't think that they count those yet. They don't count DVR as the same thing as live television. So, like, if they put it on Fridays, it's just going to have shitty ratings and it's going to die. If they put it on, like, Mondays or Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Thursdays, that might overload on superhero shows on the same day.
But people, maybe that would be cool to have, like, 2 superhero shows back-to-back one night a week. Like a Thursday night of 2 hours of superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So if we went 7 to 8 and 8 to 9 with superhero shows, my problem is your show at 8 to 9, let's think about that. That's 8 to 9 Central. That's 9 to 10 East Coast.
Yeah.
That's usually where they put more gritty programming. The grittier dramas because the kids are in bed by 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. WB, it's great. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah. The problem of where do we put this show that's going to make us a fuckload of money? Like, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, great problem to have. But you don't want it on Sunday nights facing anything that HBO's doing.
You know what they could do?
Move up. I want to see who's writing this comic book. Who is this? So, Salim Akil and Mara Brock Akil. Oh, they're going to executive produce the show with him.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. So, he's pulling in big names for this.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, Berlanti can't do wrong.
I mean, he would be the person. If I was going to have somebody unify all the DC landscape into one cohesive universe,
which we've begged for, like Marvel does,
I would put Berlanti in charge because Berlanti can do the thing for them that Kevin Feige does for Marvel, which is just be the one person who keeps everybody on message and on point throughout the whole television and movie landscape.
Be beautiful. Be beautiful. We're going to definitely have to track this to see where that goes. What are you thinking, though? What could they do?
What they could do it as like a summer show.
Oh.
So you have like all 3 of the other shows, they start in October.
They're the falls.
The fall, they go fall, and then they have the Christmas break, and then they come back after the first of the year. And then when those shows end, you put this show on as the summer show. There wouldn't be as much crossover and stuff like that you could do, but you could definitely, like, during the fall season, you could have him crossover in those episodes, and then when his show comes around, it just keeps going. Like, you know, this is what he's doing between the seasons.
I can see that. And summer shows are big. Let's face it, man. People get tired of reruns, so seeing a first run show during the summer has become a big thing. CBS struck gold with their version of James Patterson's Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
That did great in the ratings and found a second home when it went to Netflix and picked up even more fans. And they're even talking about bringing that back. So a summer show from Berlanti, I would not be against it. Let's keep it going with DC. Now, we did a show, maybe it was 7 or 8 shows back. We talked about Justice League Dark in the animated movie. And we thought, you know, for a while that DC had said, hey, we're going to do a Justice League Dark film. It's going to be part of the cinematic universe. Then it kind of went quiet. And then next thing you know, they're talking about, oh, we're doing the animated film now. And I was like, well, that was a cop-out. So I guess we're not going to get a Justice League Dark film on screen. And then, boom, out of nowhere, Variety hits us with this story. Doug Liman to direct Dark Universe for DC and Warner Brothers.
Yeah. So we're going to get a live-action DC Dark Universe with Constantine, Swamp Thing, Deadman, Zatanna, and Etrigan the Demon.
Which is...
I mean, that's... See, like, Justice League Dark is the
They're the Black Magic Justice League.
They're the magic version of the Justice League. So like Superman is impervious to fucking everything, but you put him up against the magic user and he's fucking toast.
And that's the thing. They said he can't stand magic. He can't go up against.
He can't do anything against it. So when there's a magical threat, which this doesn't make any sense, is like in Suicide Squad, the bad guy is the witch. Right?
Yeah, Enchantress, and she's a magic user.
So isn't she supposed to be the big bad guy that's in Justice League Dark, doing what she did in Suicide Squad?
Not.
She's one of the main bad guys. And they've already taken care of her. She's gone. She's dead. So
the thing about Justice League Dark is when you read the comic book, there was so, pardon my language, pardon my French on this one, there was so much fucked up in the DC universe that we never really read about. Mm-hmm. So Justice League Dark comic comes out with the new 52 launch, and it's some really dark heaven and hell stuff. And the reason I say that is because Constantine's involved. And, you know, me being a collector of the old Hellblazer series, the guy went up against Satan in the issue. Okay. Yeah. He dealt with demons and hell and heaven and God and angels. He crossed paths with some people.
Yeah.
Pissed off a lot of people. And when you start dealing with old demons and old gods, it's not hard to have the demon of the week.
True. But I think, I don't know. It seems like they could have waited to do her story with Justice League Dark where she's supposed to be instead of doing her with Suicide Squad, and then done the actual Suicide Squad story that they did as an animated movie on the big screen, and that would have been a lot more cohesive.
I totally 100% can see where you're going with that. I want you to do me a favor. If you get a chance, there is a trailer that is out for, and it's maybe a 7 or 8 minute video, and it's about the Justice League Dark animated film.
Yeah.
7 or 8 minutes behind the scenes. You meet the producers, you meet the director, you meet the writer, you get introduced, you see some of the animation for the series. Find that video, watch that video. Mm-hmm. This is going to be one of those issues, and you can mark it today that I said it. It's going to be one of those issues where the animated film is going to be far superior than what they're going to give us on screen. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be wishing, oh my God, why didn't you take the guy from the animated film and make that the villain? I promise you it's going to be that. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Constantine fan. Was super upset when they took him off the show. Even when they flirted with the idea of Constantine coming to the WB.
Yeah.
I was super excited about that.
I wish that would have happened. That would have been...
I was super excited about that. Even about him crossing over with, Flash and showing up on Arrow. Super excited about all those ideas.
And I'm still pissed that they didn't use Zatanna on Arrow.
When they cop out. That was just a cop out. But we know it. But so here's my thing. We knew this whole thing, right? We're like, okay, that's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But now that movie is a go, I'm kind of wondering about what else they got hidden up their sleeves, because there were movies that they quit talking about. And now with them just saying, hey, we're bringing Justice League Dark back. I don't know if the ensemble idea is working because let's face it, Suicide Squad was a box office success.
Yeah.
It was the first DC film. I personally loved it. I told you I gave it it was in my 80s. I gave it a score in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think I said 85.
Something like that.
And I think J. Dig Dug, she gave it a 90 something. She was pretty high on it. Her and I, we were both pretty excited about the film. We both loved it. It got a 70 something from you. It was in the 70s. And that's a hell of a score for you.
Oh, I found out some interesting stuff about that film.
Yeah. So you were telling me something about this. What is it?
Suicide Squad. So the original director produced a cut of the film that was dark.
Right.
Or darker. And everybody's response to the marketing for the film was so good and so
hey, we love this commercial and this marketing.
Yeah. So this isn't something that apparently happens very often, but DC, or Warner Brothers rather, contacted the people who cut the trailer and had them recut the film for them.
And that explains something, because we were saying, no wonder it plays like, the whole movie plays like a freaking trailer with loud music. The music almost overpowers some scenes.
The music is obnoxious.
And the reason...
it's good music.
They were trying to sell a soundtrack. Let's not lie. They're trying to sell that soundtrack.
Hammers you, over and over and over. You don't get any chance to, rest for a second between fucking some shit that came out, 10 or 20 years ago. They even pulled songs that were on the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack and put them into Suicide Squad just for effect. Like they were just using they were beating the audience over the head with the soundtrack. Like
they really did. They were trying to sell a soundtrack and a movie to us.
Yeah.
But when you told me, hey, the guys who cut the trailer, which was basically a music video with superheroes, also cut the movie.
Yeah.
They edited the movie. And I was like, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, it makes sense because the first 30 or 40 minutes of the fucking of the film is like trailer bite-sized parts that each one of them you could pull out and put into a trailer, you know. I wish that I hope that there's a director's cut of the film because I want to see what the original director was going to cut the film like because I mean, he's the guy who did Fury, like.
Yeah, I've told you what I would love to see. I would love to see a double Blu-ray package come out, director's cut, theatrical cut, and behind the scenes. And I will pay the money because I really enjoyed Suicide Squad. But I kind of want to see what his darker version was that scared. And here's my thing.
I don't think it really scared. I think that they wanted the movie to be funnier.
But here's my thing. You've given us this DC. We said it on the Suicide Squad special. I said it to you and Julie, and both of you agreed. I said that Marvel's TV universe is dark, cinematic universe is family friendly. And DC has reversed that, and their TV universe is family friendly, and their cinematic universe is kind of dark.
Yeah.
You know, a Batman and Superman should be a family friendly film, okay? I shouldn't have to worry about Batman going off on a killing spree, you know? I just shouldn't have to worry about that. This is a Batman that my kids have known.
Or Superman killing Zod.
Yeah, you know, when he could have just put his hand over his eyes.
Yeah,
but that's my favorite line ever in the history of things you said to me. He could have just moved his hand from his neck to his eyes. And I was like, oh, God. No, you did not say that. So true. But here's my thing. When you look at this, one of the first things that when I go through and I was reading reviews of all the movies, the movies are so dark. The movies are so dark. We kicked them in the nutsack over and over and over, and everybody freaking said it to the point where it was ad nauseum. Nobody was saying anything new. We were all saying the movies are dark. And then they finally come out with this version of Suicide Squad, which could have been dark, but wasn't. It was a little bit more lighthearted. I mean, it earns its R rating. Don't get me wrong. It's not a family-friendly movie. It earns the R rating, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was like Deadpool fun for me. You know what I mean? It was a lot of fun to watch it. I had fun enjoying it.
So Deadpool made more money.
Yeah, Deadpool made more money than everything. And Deadpool was a lot more vulgar, and it was a amazing film. But I really could see where they were going with Suicide Squad. So I think they tried to give us something lighthearted, and we still kick them in the balls. I'm not quite sure. But we'll move on. We got some more news. The Spider-Man Homecoming camp will not be quiet. You talk about a film where they're not keeping anything quiet. We know everybody that's going to be in this film by now, I think.
Oh, I think they've officially announced that Zendaya is...
I forgot. I know the character she's playing, but she was a love interest of Peter Parker at one time.
Yeah,
in the comic book, and I can't remember her name.
Gwen Stacy?
No.
Or the other one?
No, she was like some cop's
sister. No. There was something that was newer than that said.
Yeah, she was the sister of that cop. Gwen Stacy was the daughter of the police officer that died. I'm telling you, we went through this whole thing with Spider-Man and Zendaya, and that she is going to play a love interest. But it was a crazy, well, that's an obscure character to pull up. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go through the cast. Who do we got? We know we got Tom Holland is playing Peter Parker, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know Marissa Tomei is going to be in there as Aunt May.
Yeah.
And we got... who was that kid? Tony Revolori was playing Flash.
Yeah.
And we were kind of weirded out by that one. Like, bro, why are you playing Flash when Flash has normally been a white guy? And I'm not saying,
Michelle, that's who Zendaya's playing.
But yeah, she is the sister of a cop, and I'm telling you.
But there was some kind of a shakeup. Maybe it wasn't Zendaya, but there was something that happened recently that nobody really... It was kind of weird because usually everybody freaks out over, what race people are supposed to be or what they're supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And...
She kind of looked like the role. I just thought, well, that's kind of an adult role for her to be playing. But
it was who they announced as Mary Jane. That's who it was. Give me just a sec.
Yeah, because I think that was what a lot of people were thinking, that she was going to play the role of Mary Jane, and they were freaking out because, wait a minute, they're trying to recast Mary Jane as this black girl, and that was not the issue. That's not who she's playing. But I think that also...
Yeah, see, Zendaya will be playing longtime Spider-Man love interest Mary Jane Watson.
That's not who she's playing.
But that is who she's playing.
That is not.
This is as of August 18th.
And the other story where she's Michelle is a newer story. She plays Michelle Rodriguez, and she's the cop's sister.
No.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
No.
We can bet on this one. You will lose, and I'm going to love it.
Hold on. We're going to IMDb the fuck out of this.
During the podcast, this is what the fuck you want to do. We got so many stories to go through.
There's someone who's wrong on the internet, okay?
Yeah. Oh, shit. You're shocked that somebody's wrong on the internet? Okay. Yeah.
See, they listed as Michelle here.
I'm telling you, that's who she's played.
But why on August 18th did they say that she was going to be fucking Mary Jane?
That was the bullshit draw that I've been telling everybody that was.
No.
She was never going to be Mary Jane.
But she's supposed to be Mary Jane.
No. Ever. If she plays the role of Michelle, and I want to... It's like... Here, Michelle was this Puerto Rican girl that was on in the comic books when it was different.
All right. Hold on. Stan Lee says Zendaya is Mary Jane Watson.
No. He said he liked it, motherfucker. He didn't say she was. Don't try it.
Zendaya has been announced as Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man Homecoming.
That is not her role.
Motherfucker, yes she is.
It's not the role she's playing.
Look,
you're going to be upset
I'm gonna
about
find
this.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna find a million goddamn. This is fucking James Gunn saying that Zendaya is possibly playing Mary Jane Watson.
He could fire back all day, but that's just drama. She's not going to be Mary Jane. It will not happen. Just take this penis like a grown man and quit fighting it. She will not be Mary Jane. I don't even know why you want her to be Mary Jane. Here's my thing. Why is the black guy okay with her not being Mary Jane, and the white guy is so fucking upset?
It's not. I'm not upset about her being Mary Jane. I'm upset because I know I'm right and I know you're wrong.
No.
That's what this is about. This has nothing to do with the fucking race of the person. What I'm saying is she's fucking Mary Jane.
And I'm telling you, you're fucking insane. Okay? And that rhymed, and I did that personally. She will not be Mary Jane. This is money. We'll put money on this. So she will not be a Mary Jane. That role she is playing is a character.
Stan Lee isn't the first person involved with Marvel Studios to stand up for Zendaya.
Yeah.
Because she's playing Mary Jane.
She will not.
Are you excited to see Zendaya as Mary Jane Watson? Why would they write this article?
Bro. For the same fucking reason they write all these other toss-off articles. You're reading shit from August. I'm telling you, since September.
This is from September 5th.
She is not going to be Mary Jane.
This is from September 5th.
All he said is he liked. He did not confirm. I promise you she's not going to be Mary Jane. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be pissed when she's not Mary Jane. And you know what I'm going to do to you? Every fucking day for a month, I'm going to remind you that she was not Mary Jane.
But you know what I was right about?
Hannibal Buress. You were right on that one.
They cast him as a fucking teacher. He's a gym teacher, not a math teacher or something, but they cast him as a fucking teacher. I was right. I knew it.
We kept trying to figure out, what is he going to do in this film? You nailed that one.
I knew it.
When I saw that one, I started laughing. They have announced that Hannibal Buress is going to play a teacher. Man, they cannot shut up about this movie. I mean, it's almost at the point of overkill. When does the movie even come out? Do we even get it till...
No fucking clue.
Like next year? Is it even in the 2017s? Are we getting this movie in 2017?
I think it's going to be 2017.
So it is set for 2017.
Yeah, there's not an exact release date, I don't think.
God,
June. Oh no, wait, that was when it was updated. Never mind.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of wondering about this one because we know. Wait, and excuse me. Don't we get a Tony Stark? We know Michael Keaton's playing the Vulture. Okay. Yeah. Hannibal Buress is now some like Coach Wilson or something like that. Tony Revolori, as I said, is going to be Flash Thompson. Marissa Tomei. We know Robert Downey Jr. is going to reprise his role as Tony Stark and Iron Man in it. We know there's going to be some big guest stars and appearances.
Jon Favreau is going to be in it too. He's reprising his role as Happy.
Really?
Yeah, Happy Hogan right here. See?
Oh, wow.
We still don't know who Dong Glover is going to be playing.
Yeah, we don't know about that one. There's some other characters in here who I'm just not sure about. Garcelle Beauvoir is gorgeous. Tyne Daly, what the hell is she doing here? I do know Bokeem Woodbine. He is playing Herman Schultz, the Shocker. I was shocked by that. So we're getting the Vulture and the Shocker in the same film?
Yeah, I think he's going to be like... I think that what they're going to do, if they do it right, is they're going to introduce him, but he's not going to do really anything bad in this film.
He's not going to be a big character, but we're setting it up for a Sinister Six.
He's going to come in later in another film. See, kind of like how they'll introduce a character like as just a background character. Like you get the audience used to seeing them, and then later on in another story, you bring that character in to do something like as a main villain or whatever. That would be the smart way to do it.
Yeah, because I was...
Kind of like how they introduced Black Panther in Civil War before he's actually having his own film later on. His own film.
And that's true. Marvel's notorious for that.
The way that they use Scarlet
Witch in the Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Then she comes in big in Avengers and the rest of the movies. Yeah, we know. So it could be that. I'm going to be surprised. I'm really going to be surprised if that's what happens. And speaking of... Look at the last time this article. This is the IMDb was, right? Huh. When was that updated?
June 20th.
Huh. We're going to watch this. Our next show, you and I this week, we will find the most up-to-date news on what Zendaya's role will be, and I will send it to you. But we're totally forgetting this one. They cast another person in this damn movie.
Yeah.
Who is Jonah Zhao? Or Chow?
It's Zhao.
It is Zhao? She's gorgeous. This is one of the most beautiful. I say she's Chinese. I don't know what her nationality is.
Yeah.
All I know is
Chinese, 27.
She's 27-year-old Chinese, and she is gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. I fanboyed over her as soon as I saw this woman. I said, I don't know who she is. I don't know what she does. I just know I want her to be my wife.
Your waifu?
Bro. I'll be the waifu and wear the maid outfit and she'll just marry me. I'm telling you, this woman is gorgeous.
I don't know what she's doing. I mean, she's listed as being in the movie, but she's not even on the main
all I've
cast
heard was
list.
that they announced her, but we got nothing about what the role she's playing is. There's nothing. I don't even know what she's from. I mean, seriously, I don't know anything about this woman. Oh, there it is. July 7th, 2017 is the date. Film is hitting theaters, so we do know that. It's coming next summer.
Somebody needs to update that IMDb page. This is bullshit.
Yeah, I'm telling you. What the fuck? There's
Internet.
A lot of information out here on this film that it seems it's almost too much, man. You know what I'm saying? I do want to know. Let's see. What was
She's on Halt and Catch Fire, Keeping Up with the Joneses.
That was on Fox.
Gifted, Roselli, and...
Oh, Roselli and Oz. That's
Trophy Wife, Bones.
Bro, that was one of those like TBN or TBS show, TNT shows.
Yeah.
Okay. Gorgeous woman. Can't wait to see what happens with her. Also, Marvel Comic News. We talked about this. I think we were one of the first to kind of come with this story on the podcast. We talked about how Iron Man was...
So Riri Williams now has a new name.
She was going to be the new Iron Man. She was going to take over that. She is the new Iron Man. And I think she was going to show up in like... issue 9 of the new Invincible Iron Man series. But she's taken on, she's no longer, I mean, let's say, face it, you can't be an Iron Man if you're a woman in the suit.
But you could be. I mean,
I guess you could be, technically. Nobody would give a crap. You're still wearing the Iron Man armor. We don't know what your sex is. But she's taking on a new name.
Ironheart.
So the 15-year-old prodigy who backwards hacks a suit of iron,
creates her own fucking Iron Man armor.
Yeah, and impresses Tony so much that he basically takes her under his wing as his protege.
Yeah.
She is now the Robin to his Batman. And she builds her own suit, goes to MIT, and so basically she becomes Ironheart. And I think that's kind of cool, you know, because Tony put on his reactor to save his heart, you know.
Yeah.
To keep that thing from lodging into his heart and killing him.
It's Joe Quesada. Joe Quesada came up with the name. He's a fucking genius.
Yeah, bro, I'm all over this, man. But she puts it on for different reasons, but he says it's still heart related. Brian Michael Bendis is going to be writing this story. And let me tell you something right now. Any comic that has mattered worth a damn in the Marvel Universe over the last 5 years, Bendis has wrote that thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see that she's going to have an amazing writer on the story when she does come on board. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. You know what? Marvel's really got, if you look at this, Marvel has really gotten very friendly with characters of different race taking on these roles. Go back to that article. I'm going to show you something here. Go down just a little bit. Now I want you to look at that bottom paragraph right there. You look at this. If Riri, a 15-year-old black girl, is now taking over as Ironheart or Iron Man.
Kamala Khan is Miss Marvel.
Is Miss Marvel. Miles Morales is Spider-Man. Jane Foster is Thor.
Yeah. Amadeus Cho is the Hulk.
Amadeus Cho is the funniest Hulk. He's a Korean American. Sam Wilson's now Captain America. And Laurie Kinney, who was X-23, is now the Wolverine. She's officially wearing the Wolverine outfit. So there is definitely, 2016 was the year that Marvel took on that whole Marvel Now, and they got serious, and they really beefed up like their diversity of putting like women and minorities into major heroic roles. And Stan Lee has been all over that. Yeah. I mean, hey, at first he was like, I would like to see us come up with new characters. He said, it's just ridiculous that we don't make new characters and write strong characters, but I like what we're doing. And I thought that was cool of him. So I think we hit a lot of comic book news. We ate up half the show with comic book news. Let's get into some other stuff. PC.
So this is something that really bothers the hell out of me. Wayside Creations, if you don't know who they are, when they originally started out, they made an entire series for the internet that was based on Fallout.
Right.
It's called Nuka Break. Go watch it. It's awesome. So they've done several other projects. They had a Nuka Break Season 2 that they were doing, and then they also recently did a Kickstarter to create a show based around Legends of Grimrock.
Okay.
Apparently, these people who have been working there forever, who are like the heart of the operation, have been trying to figure out where all this Kickstarter money has gone. And since they're shareholders, they're entitled to that information, but they've not been given it. And they also found out that some investor fraud appears to have happened, where they set up a Kickstarter and for the Legend of Grimrock thing, and then some people were basically told, if you invest X amount of money into the Kickstarter, you'll get Y amount of profit once the Kickstarter is successful.
Then what I understand, they were told, invest 60 grand and we'll put interest on that 60 grand.
Yeah.
Which sets them around 65 grand.
Yeah. So that's $5,000 worth of actual Kickstarter backing money going to people who back this for profit.
Right. Now, here's what I don't get about this.
Fucking fraud.
You did 120,000. Okay. You had to be fully funded on their page. It was 120,000. They made like 121,000 or something.
So half of that was fake.
So yeah, because you're telling me, hey, 65 grand don't even count.
Yeah.
What do you mean 65 grand don't count?
Yeah, and then they don't even know
to the for-profit.
They don't even know where the rest of that money went. One of the people
there were some legal fees with Amazon, and then there was other stuff and licensing fees. There was some stuff that went funny with this money, and then basically what it boiled down to is like when it was all said and done, you maybe had 30 out of 120,000 raised. You only had 30,000 to go into the development of the series.
Yeah. And apparently all of the people, because the 4 people who are in this video for the final Kickstarter update, they were the main cast and creative behind Nuka Break.
Right.
And so Nuka Break Season 2, one of the cast members has had an entire set of Ranger armor that's been custom fitted to him. He's never seen the armor.
And he's never
seen any of the material for it, and he believes he's been recast.
Right.
One of the other girls that's working on it, she's one of the main writers.
She wrote the film treatment.
Yeah, she wrote the whole film treatment and has never been paid for it. Like, all of this shit is just bullshit upon bullshit. So all of them cashed out. They relinquished all of their stock in the company, and they're gone. So if you're trying to back Wayside Creations, in the future, you're not backing the people who actually created it.
No, you're not, because basically Wayside Creations is going on as a name.
Yeah.
But none of the people who started or created Wayside Creations are involved in this.
Yeah.
And that's heartbreaking. And who is it? Geek and Sundry?
Yeah, Geek and Sundry apparently gave Wayside Creations money in order to be able to rebroadcast the episodes of Nuka Break on their network. So now Geek and Sundry is involved in this shit. Like, it just seems like it's bad all around.
No, it seems like I just watched that movie, The Big Short, recently, and so I'm really sensitive to these things where people get money and then they get creative with the financing, and then a lot of innocent people get hurt.
Yeah,
because you built a lie and you knew it was a lie when you built it, and then you've ruined this company, Wayside Creators, because they're out. The four people who were the heart of the company is now fucking Wayside are gone, and they're telling everybody, hey, we could have sued them, but we basically would have been suing ourselves. It's our company. That's our baby.
Yeah.
We created this thing, and these guys it's a cash and pony show. It's definitely heartbreaking. I'd say this. If you were a lot of people that we know have funded Kickstarter programs, we're friends of and fans of the whole idea of Kickstarter funding and what's the other, Patreon and all that kind of funding? Patreon. I'm all about that, man. I love that kind of stuff. You know, it lets you be a part of the development of the show. We've never had to go that route yet. I'll say yet, but yeah, it's possible one day that we would have to go that route. But you get to a part where you get so emotionally invested in your baby. This podcast is our baby. We take a lot of pride in the stories we bring to people and the integrity that we put into these shows, man. We don't, we're not biased. If we tell you a game sucks, it sucks. And if we tell you we love something, it's because we truly love it, not because of some affiliation or company that we may work with or know, okay?
Yeah.
To me, this whole thing was fraud all the way around, and a lot of innocent people have gotten hurt, and the guys who are a great creating group
it's some bullshit.
Are ousted. Okay, so it's bullshit. You're right. Let's get into this one, though. Emulator Dolphin. Now, I've heard about this before. It looks like you can it can basically, this PC emulator can boot the entire GameCube library.
Yeah, so any GameCube game that ever came out can now be booted and played directly through Dolphin perfectly. And that's a fucking achievement. Like, that's big.
And here's the thing, they could, like, I know they said, hey, some of the games have been modded by fans to output in higher resolutions or increase frame rates, but one game stood in the way of complete compatibility, and that was Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yeah, they had to rewrite parts of the emulator entirely to allow the game to reorganize the way that memory is used within the system in order to be able to boot the game, because the game tries to, like, manage the memory instead of allowing the actual GameCube operating system to allow it to manage the memory itself. So in order to get this game to boot, they had to, like, rewrite a whole bunch of shit, which just, it sucks, but they did it, and now literally any GameCube game. So if you own an entire library of GameCube games, you can download the emulator, you can rip those games yourself to your PC, you can load them up in Dolphin, and you can play them without ever having to actually physically boot up your GameCube anymore.
And I didn't know this, but I know that Nintendo was real big about their digital marketplace, but I didn't know that you could not play any GameCube games, like, digitally on the Wii U.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. And I kind of thought, well, that's kind of strange that they don't offer a massive library. The GameCube was a successful system. Why wouldn't you offer that? But no, not even an option.
Yeah, emulation is difficult, just because you have to have. I think the rule is, like, you have to have at least 2.5 or 3 times the compute power of the system that you want to emulate in order to be able to emulate it properly.
Right.
And I don't think that, because Nintendo isn't known for making powerful consoles. Like, no. They will make a console that's completely underpowered and put it out because the style and the types of games that they want on that system and the way that they want them to look is a certain way, and that doesn't take very much compute power. So I have a feeling the reason why we don't see that level of emulation on the console itself is literally because the console can't do it.
That's true. That's something to think about, and it's really weird. And here's the thing about this emulator. Like I don't know if a lot of our listeners know this. Emulators are not official. They're not sponsored by. So this is not something that hey, Nintendo helped us with this.
This is fans of the system and hardware hackers figuring out how everything works and then recreating that digitally.
And Dolphin's been around for several years.
Yeah, Dolphin's been around for a while. It does Wii games, and it also does GameCube games, and I believe it also does N64 games, but I'm not
sure about that one, but I do know it does. Now it's 100% the entire GameCube library.
Yeah.
Done.
All of it. And so if at some point, if the Dolphin interface could be ported to, say, like the Nintendo NX, then the Nintendo NX could potentially come and be able to play all the software from your GameCube.
Something to think about.
Yeah, and if the rumors are true about the NX and where the chipset is coming from for the NX, which is they think that they're going to be using the next gen chip. So right now the NVIDIA Shield uses the Tegra X1, so the processor that comes after that on their mobile lineup, which would potentially be the next processor that the next Shield console would run on from NVIDIA, may be what's powering the NX. So if that be true, then they would have plenty of graphics horsepower and processing power to be able to emulate things. Because I've got a Shield, I can literally emulate all the way up to, like, I can do N64, I can do GameCube, I can do PlayStation 1. I think I can do PlayStation 2 as well. On the Shield, it's a powerful little console, and the one that's coming after that is going to be even more powerful. It's going to be based on Pascal architecture, and it's also going to probably be based on another A8 chipset, which is like a next gen, what you would have in your phone. So like I have a Snapdragon 820, that's an A8 processor. It follows that architecture, so this is going to be like a next generation of that.
Ooh, nice.
So if the rumors are true, then they should have plenty of horsepower to be able to do this level of emulation on the NX, and it would be a good way for them to get a leg up on getting people into their console, because then they'd be able to play all of their old games and all of their new games all the way up through the entire lineup, which is something that Sony and Microsoft don't have.
It's true. That's so true.
Like,
I mean,
Microsoft,
I'm not a fan of PlayStation Now. I know I piss people off when I say that. I love my PS4. I love my Vita. I love my 2DS. I'm not a fan of PlayStation Now. I just think it's crappy. To me, it's a crappy service. Somebody's gonna love it. I think this new thing. Let's get into it. So, PlayStation Now, it's got something coming to PC.
PlayStation Now is basically going to have a PC interface, so you're going to be able to download an application and buy a PlayStation Now account, pay for it, log into PlayStation Now, and play it from a PC over the internet.
Let's say this. Play it from a Windows PC. If you're a Mac and you're trying to play games, that makes you an idiot. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
It makes you an idiot. I hate when people say, I got a Mac and I try to play games on it. You're an idiot.
The thing about the Macs is that Apple doesn't consider them to be a gaming platform. Their Mac operating system is meant for productivity only, and that's the way that they want their Macs to be viewed, is a productivity machine, because they want that to be ingrained in everybody's brain for some reason. And on their side of things, if you want to play games, here's your iPhone, here's your iPad, go play them on that.
Go game away on those devices. But the Mac is a terrible device to try to play on.
Yeah.
And I hate when people say this. And I loved it. They said, no, we're making the jump to Windows PC. They were very specific about what they were doing.
They're also releasing a USB wireless adapter for their DualShock controllers. So we're going to actually have official PlayStation drivers and wireless support for the PlayStation controller on PC.
Because a lot of people use their PS4 control. Like, you can plug a PS4 controller into your PC right now and get it going.
Yeah. I mean, you can. And here's the thing is, like, this is what I was saying, like, way back on, like, episode 2 or 3 of this podcast, is use whatever fucking controller you want to, and you can play your games on PC. So this is just adding to that. Like, we're going to have official PlayStation drivers. We're going to be able to have official PlayStation driver support on PC that's fully compatible with DirectX, which means that games aren't really going to have to be reconfigured for it.
Yeah.
They're just going to fucking work.
You know what I'm excited about this whole thing?
Yeah.
You're finally going to get to play Uncharted. because you refused to get a PS system to play Uncharted, but I want you to see why this game won that game of the year.
I'm not going to pay PlayStation money for any for
I think
a
what
service.
is the subscription? Is it if it still stays to what it is? Try it for 1 month.
No, don't want to. Don't care. I want to be able to. So here's the reason why I don't want to do that. One, I have streaming. I have in-home streaming. I have NVIDIA Shield. I have a very powerful PC. I can go in my bedroom and I can boot up a game and I can play it on my television from my computer.
Right.
It introduces milliseconds worth of latency, not tens of milliseconds or hundreds of milliseconds, just 3 or 4 milliseconds worth of latency, and I can fucking feel it when I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I want to play on a streaming service that's coming from hundreds of miles from my house when I can't even stand the latency that I get over Ethernet?
Well, you won't even try it.
There's no reason to try it. I have the NVIDIA Shield, and one of the selling points of it is that you can connect to the GeForce Now service.
You don't hardly use it.
And I've never used it.
I was like, I remember you getting it, but I don't think you've ever been big on using it.
Yeah, I don't use it for that. So my Shield device in there is used for like watching Netflix on that television, or watching YouTube, or watching something, or watching my Plex server. I also use it as a Plex server, so I have Plex installed on there, and I have it wirelessly connected to my PC to grab all of my media and serve it out. So like I can go to my girlfriend's and watch streaming media that's being processed on my Shield, grabbing from media that's on my PC. And so that's awesome. That's what I use the Shield for. But the problem with things like GeForce Now and with this PlayStation thing and with Xbox streaming stuff to your computer is latency.
Oh, yeah.
It's latency. And even the Shield, with as much technology as it has, is still shit at it. Like, they specifically engineered the controllers to not use Bluetooth, to use direct Wi-Fi, because direct Wi-Fi afforded them more bandwidth and a faster connection so that they could shave milliseconds worth of latency off of you actually using the system. So from the controller to the Shield, there's latency, and then from the Shield to your router, and from your router out to the internet, to the destination and back again, you're going to introduce anywhere between like 15 to 60 milliseconds worth of latency. Like, imagine...
Now, here's the thing. I want you to stop. This is the people that we've become. We're bitching about 16 milliseconds of latency, but as gamers, you notice it.
But
let's be honest, we notice 16 milliseconds.
I notice 60 milliseconds of latency because I play when I have zero latency to my machine and I'm playing Overwatch. If I have 90 milliseconds or 100 milliseconds worth of latency, I can fucking feel it. And to have that latency be between me and a server that I'm playing on, that can kind of be masked a bit by software, but to actually have that much latency on me just making a movement in a single player game just makes the game fucking unplayable. Like, imagine trying to drive in GTA in single player, running from the cops, and everything that you do is 60 milliseconds behind what's happening in the game. Like,
yeah, you start to catch on quick, especially when you got an Uncharted. And the reason I say this is because there were some hair trigger scenes where you got to do some jumping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got to be on point.
Timing is everything. Timing is all the things.
So, man, I'm telling you, I'm excited about that. I mean, for people, like as we said, hey, there are some people on PC who never got to play these games that are going to want to play it, and that's just their shot to play it. God bless them. Enjoy it. Won't be me.
Yeah.
All right. So we God almighty, we went through this quick. We had a lot.
Yeah.
We had a lot. Oh man, I always love kicking it with you, man. Guys, we appreciate you listening to us. The show has really blown up since we've had the Dice guys on here, and Martin, Eric, thank you guys for coming on the show and being with us and doing that interview. It meant a lot to us personally. If you want to be on the show, if you want to talk to us about any of the stuff that you see on the show, you can always contact us on our Twitter pages, at Coach Silky, at Thighside. Plus, you can always write us at our email, goteamlift@gmail.com. Once again, you've been listening to the Team Lift podcast. I've had a blast. Hope to see you again next week. Thighside.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brendan Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Join us again next week as we discuss more topics from geek culture. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter page at GoTeamLift, as well as our personal pages at Coach Silky and at Thighside. You can direct questions or comments to us on our Twitter page, as well as find links to all of our social media outlets. Thank you for listening. See you again next week.